The following review is for a hard R-rated movie. Explicit language may and most likely will be used in the description of the film, as well as possibly some minor spoilers. Viewer discretion is advised.
From the old movies of 30 years ago and beyond,
to the world of the new films of the last 30 years.
to the movies that are now playing, this is Old, New, and Now Playing. And now, here's your host, Will Robinson Smith.
Hello and welcome to Old, New, and Now Playing, your time machine through the world of movies. Thank you so much for joining me today, and let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and dive right into a movie that's gonna make you feel kind of uncomfortable eating anything while you're watching it. This is your feature presentation. Beyond the content of the movie, one thing that really surprised me when doing a bit of research on it was learning about the team behind the film. Seth Rogen starred in this movie and wrote it alongside Evan Goldberg, which isn't really surprising. The two have worked together on raunchy comedies like Pineapple Express, This Is the End, The Interview, and most recently, Neighbors 2. The part that actually made me go, wait, what? Were the guys who directed the film, Greg Tiernan and Conrad Vernon. Tiernan has spent the last several years directing shorts of Thomas and Friends, and Vernon got his directorial chops with DreamWorks films like Shrek 2, Monsters and Aliens, and Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. The duo previously worked together as animators on the poorly received 1992 film Cool World, but I guess it's all about finding the right fit for the right project. So Sausage Party takes a number of cues from Pixar, both in style and in general storytelling. It follows the story of Frank the Sausage, voiced by Seth Rogen, and Brenda the Buns, voiced by Kristen Wiig. They're two love-struck pieces of food whose life's goal is to be taken into the great beyond or out the grocery store doors and finally be together. But when Frank learns the horrible truth about what humans actually do with food, he tries to find a way to save the rest of the food at Shopwell's. This may be one of the best things that Rogen and Goldberg have done together. The writing is quick and it's witty, it's full of puns and double entendres, and I think it has some of the best pop culture references that they put into a movie that, for me, were almost on par with the best episodes of either The Simpsons or Family Guy. For example, before Frank learns the truth about the humans, he and Bonnie are joined on their journey back to their isles by Sammy Bagel Jr., voiced by Edward Norton, and Lavash, voiced by David Krumholtz, who was recently seen in Hail Caesar. They have a continuous back and forth that parodies the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And if you couldn't guess by the trailers or the little bit that I've described thus far, this film pretty much takes shots at everyone in virtually every culture, so if you're thin-skinned or really just don't like Seth Rogen's style of comedy, this film really isn't for you. But while the humor isn't for the faint of heart, it is incredibly smart, and I imagine that there were many references and gags that I may have missed from laughing at ones that came seconds prior. There's also a villain in this movie that really isn't featured in any of the trailers, so that was a fun surprise, and there's a gag that goes along with him that is pretty much the same joke told over and over again, but they change it just slightly enough that it makes you laugh, well, it made me laugh every time. But beyond the writing, what makes this movie work was the great voice cast they put together that combined talented comedians and other Oscar-caliber actors referenced in a great short.
Salma Hayek.
I have crotch feelings.
Academy Award nominee James Franco.
Oh, it just got better!
Critics' Choice Award nominee Bill Hader.
I was getting super baked, like fuck a guy baked.
Bottom line, if you're good with off-color humor and like a well-animated movie, then I highly, pun intended, recommend you check out this movie. I give Sausage Party a 9 out of 10. It's been a while since I laughed this hard at a movie. It has well-timed comedy, great animation, good pacing, and absolutely has a rewatchability to it. I kept this review fairly short because there are a lot of jokes in this movie, and I didn't want to spoil them for you because I really think this is one you should see in the theater with an audience because that really helps you enjoy the experience of watching this movie even more. Also, there isn't an end credit scene, so no need to wait and see what's at the end of the credits. So those are my thoughts on Sausage Party. When you've had a chance to see the movie, I want to hear what you thought about it, and also, what's one of your favorite movies that's based on inanimate objects? I'm going to throw The Brave Little Toaster into the mix since that was one of my favorites growing up, but I want to hear what your movies are. Just put them in the comment section below. That will do it for today's episode, but before we go real quick, just wanted to remind you that this is pretty much the penultimate episode in which I'm going to be shooting in this space. Like I said in my last review, I'm going to be moving actually across the country, and so I'm going to be in the process of changing the set, sort of figuring out what that new space is going to look like, and so the reviews won't be coming out with as much regularity as would be ideal, but I will post a channel update on this channel a little bit later, probably toward the end of this coming week, just to let you know sort of how things are moving and changing and what you can expect in the new format. But I will have content that will go up next week in addition to just that channel update, so be on the lookout for that. We're talking about South Side with You, so I'm really excited to tell you more about that film, so be sure and watch the channel for that. But that will do it for this episode. If you like this review of talking about Sausage Party, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. That would be swell. And if you want to stay up to date, as I certainly hope you do, with all things going on with this channel, just go ahead and click that old subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Thank you so much as always for watching, and I will see you next time.